Tonight on DC News Now at 9, another data center battle on the horizon. We're live in Loudoun County, where a vote to add to the data center capital of the world could come as soon as tonight. Is TikTok's time winding down? The House throws its support behind a possible ban. What chances does the bill have on the Senate floor?
To say goodbye to more than 100 cherry blossom trees around the Tidal Basin, including DC's favorite, this guy, Stumpy. Coming up, I'll tell you why and if this will impact your plans to visit the Cherry Blossom Festival.
We've got a warm Thursday and eventually some showers to move on in. We'll talk about that and how much rain could fall in our area, all coming up at tonight.
And thanks to Metro, a 10-year-old boy rings in the double digits. The birthday wish come true.
To see an event like this kind of puts a real positive spin on what he's going through.
How the transit system made his dream a reality.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Hall, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm in for Chris Flanagan, who has the night off. And tonight, Loudoun County supervisors could vote to bring more new data centers to the county, already known as the data center capital of the world. But ahead of the expected vote, critics of the plan rallied in front of the government center with a strong warning. Northern Virginia reporter Max Marcella joins us live. Now, Max, what is the plan and why is there such pushback?
Well, Mark, the plan centers around a little more than 100 acres of land in Belmont, and it's an area that could house nearly 4 million square feet of data centers if this plan does go through. Now, you mentioned critics held a rally this afternoon, and the critics mentioned some of their concerns. One of the biggest ones is related to power. They fear that the county, which is already home to more than 30 million square feet of operational data centers, they fear that adding more could strain the power that the county can take in. Now, on the other hand, there have been people who have been very supportive of this project, and throughout the works, there have been some environmental provisions added since this area is next to Goose Creek. But that did come with an amendment to the plan that would add even more data centers, and that has some of those same critics from earlier frustrated.
We can't power the data centers we have now, and to change the zoning on land to increase the amount of data center in this particular application seems irresponsible.
We are expecting a vote tonight. The public hearing just started within the last 10 minutes, and as you can tell by how many people were at the rally, and many of them plus more inside right now, this could take a while. So we'll be back in an hour with an update as to what happens between now and our 10 o'clock newscast. Of course, it's worth noting this data center industry in Loudoun County has been a huge moneymaker. DC News now learned through a FOIA request that the county, the tax assessments of operational data centers, more than $660 million in 2022. That's almost half a billion more than just over half a decade ago. Reporting live in Leesburg, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
All right, Max, thank you. New at 9, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement agents in the district and in Baltimore will now be required to wear body cameras when out in public. And it's part of the Biden administration's effort to improve trust and accountability in law enforcement. For now, the new policy will only apply to ICE agents in D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, Buffalo, and Detroit. The hope is to expand to other cities, but the agency would need more funding from Congress. In Prince George's County, a 6th person is in custody for the February killing of a 2-year-old boy. The suspect is a 17-year-old from Beltsville, and he's charged as an adult with murder. Back in February, 2-year-old Jeremy Pukasaris was caught in the crossfire and killed when two groups exchanged gunfire in Langley Park. The boy's mother was also shot, but she survived. 5 other arrests have been made, including 2 minors who are also being charged as adults. And police in Laurel, Maryland have identified the 2 men who died in a shooting at a recording studio yesterday. Both victims were from D.C. Louis Rackett, and 23 years old. Quincy Green was 21. Yesterday's shooting happened inside the Track House Studios on Lafayette Avenue. A third person was also injured, and police say the shooting may have stemmed from an argument. So far, no arrests have been made. Well, soon the national park will begin a massive repair project around the tidal basin, restoring and improving the iconic spot. But the project, it comes at a cost, including the loss of a well-known cherry tree. Our Mariel Carbone explains.
You can see the need for this project here. Where we're standing right now, this area is crumbling due to twice-a-day flooding. Now, to fix this, the National Park Service says it'll need to remove more than 100 trees planted along the seawall here. That includes this tree, affectionately known as Stumpy. As the cherry trees move closer to peak bloom,
it's amazing.
A not so pretty scene clouds the many photos taken here.
Yeah, the flooding is noticeable.
A crumbling seawall, muddy grounds, and debris-lined walkways.
I do think of it as messy.
Soon that'll change as the National Park Service prepares to begin a multi-year repair project.
We are on the cusp of beginning the reconstruction.
Mike Litteris is the spokesperson for the National Mall. He says a rise in sea level and sinking seawall have led to twice-a-day flooding here, eroding the area and killing the cherry trees.
It inundates the roots of the cherry trees.
To fix this, MPS will reconstruct 6,800 feet of seawall, anchor it to the bedrock, raise the basin, and widen the walkways. But it comes at a cost, $113 million, and the removal of 140 cherry trees around the basin, including a fan favorite known as Stumpy.
Stumpy is a climate change story. His appearance is due to climate change, and the only way we can fix the problem caused by that climate change is to repair the seawall.
And the tree, which blooms despite decaying, is a sign of hope for many.
I'm heartbroken to hear that. I mean, it's so beautiful to see cherry blossoms, or soon-to-be cherry blossoms, blooming out of that.
It is a stump, but look, there's cherry blossoms growing out of it.
Yeah. NPS says it'll replace and replant more cherry trees when the project is complete.
Well, I'm going to take a photo of Stumpy.
Yes.
So that I will always have Stumpy.
And work on the project won't start until late spring, early summer, so after this year's bloom is over. And Litters also says trees like Stumpy will be turned into mulch and then used throughout the National Mall area, so their legacy will live on. Reporting from the tidal basin, I'm Mariel Carbone, DC News Now.
Mariel, thank you. Let's check in with meteorologist Scott Sumner, who's in for Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. And Scott, how's the forecast looking?
Well, I tell you what, because of that package, I wanted to do a cherry blossom forecast here just to show you what the temperature is going to be like over the next several days through the weekend here. It's going to be mild for all these cherry blossom trees, and as a result, you'll probably maybe even see some buds start to come about here because Thursday's forecast for upper 70s, mid 70s on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, well, a little cooler, but certainly above normal where we should be for this time of year in March. Right now, we're sitting at 61 degrees in the district. Double nickel here at Waldorf, 63 at Lexington Park. We're looking at the upper 40s at Manassas. So we have a wide variety of temperatures across the board from the upper 40s to the lower 60s. We've had some earlier clouds in the district. Those have pretty much dwindled here over the last couple of hours. So we're seeing clear to mainly clear skies across the entire region. Now, as you step outside on March 14th, what's the out-the-door forecast for you? A mainly sunny start, a dry morning. Temperatures not bad. They're going to be into the 40s here for tomorrow morning, with a light southwest wind. And with regards to some other headlines outside of what I just put in for the cherry blossoms, we've got a mild night ahead, upper 70s, like I said, for tomorrow. Scattered showers for Friday. Not a big deal, and not looking at severe weather, but we could have a couple of claps of thunder along with that. And then dropping temperatures this weekend, as I told you, in the 60s, but that is certainly about 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. However, stating that, we are going to see some really chilly weather next week, well, closer to normal anyway, and we'll talk about that with that 7-day forecast. Mark?
All right, Scott, thank you. Developing right now, the future of TikTok is looking more and more uncertain. The House today passed a bill that would ban the app nationwide if TikTok's Chinese parent company does not sell it. White House correspondent Basil John reports from Capitol Hill.
The bill passed with 352 lawmakers voting in support, but this does not mean the app goes away instantly.
With a huge majority, the House passed a bill that could lead to a nationwide ban of TikTok.
With every dance challenge and lip sync video, American users are unknowingly contributing to a vast surveillance apparatus.
The legislation requires TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, which is based in China, to sell TikTok in the next 6 months or see the app deleted from app stores in the U.S. Supporters of the bill say the app is a national security threat, as the Chinese government could force TikTok to hand over American users' data.
I think the Congress is stating that the data rights of Americans have got to be safe from foreign government manipulation.
Illinois Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy says the goal is not to ban TikTok.
Our intention is for TikTok to continue to operate, but not under the control of the Chinese Communist Party.
Some lawmakers voted no. California Democrat Sidney Kamlager Dove says this legislation won't stop China from getting Americans' data.
Even without TikTok, the PRC could still be able to conduct influence operations on other social media platforms.
And Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie says the bill could be unconstitutional.
Some of us are concerned that there are First Amendment implications here.
The legislation now heads to the Senate, where senators seem less enthusiastic, and it faces an uncertain future. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Basil, thank you. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley was outspoken on the issue yesterday. Virginia Senator Mark Warner and Florida Senator Marco Rubio both head the Senate Intelligence Committee. They put out a statement urging support of the bill, but Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer seemed uncommitted. Well, in Virginia, big plans are underway to redevelop the aging Manassas Shopping Center. The city announced it's buying the space on Mathis Avenue for $16 million. And city officials say the proposed sale will not impact taxpayers. Long-term development plans may include retail space, offices, and housing. Well, a heartwarming moment tonight in the district when a student is surprised with a full ride to college. Take a look.
Oh, no.
Roosevelt High School senior Constance Johnson will be going to George Washington University for free. GW surprised her, and she definitely seemed surprised. A big congratulations to her.
Interesting.
Nothing like a free ride.
Nothing like a free ride. We never had anything like that, did we?
No, but I know that she's going to have to meet certain expectations for that free ride.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing's really free.
Very good point, Mark.
But congratulations to her. And